In a small town nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a quiet girl named Deed. She was known for her imaginative mind and her ability to weave stories that could bring even the dullest moments to life. Deed spent much of her time reading tales of adventure and mystery, often dreaming of the day she would experience something extraordinary. One crisp autumn evening, Deed decided to venture into the woods behind her home. The trees, adorned in hues of gold and crimson, whispered secrets as the wind danced through their branches. As she wandered deeper, she stumbled upon an old, forgotten cemetery, hidden beneath a canopy of ivy and moss. The tombstones were weathered, their inscriptions barely visible, but there was an air of reverence surrounding the place. Curiosity piqued, Deed wandered among the graves. One stone, in particular, caught her eye. It was smaller than the rest, adorned with a delicate carving of a willow tree. The name etched into the surface read Illyra, 1835–1855. Deed felt a strange connection to the grave, as if the spirit of the girl buried there was reaching out to her. As dusk fell, the atmosphere shifted. A soft glow began to emanate from the willow carving, illuminating the cemetery in an ethereal light. Deed stepped back, her heart racing, as she watched a figure materialize before her. It was a girl, no older than 12, with long, flowing hair and a gentle smile. Deed realized with a jolt that this was Illyra's spirit. "Hello," Illyra said, her voice soft and melodic. "Thank you for visiting me." Deed, though surprised, felt an overwhelming sense of calm wash over her. "I didn't mean to disturb you," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "I was just curious about your story." Illyra's eyes sparkled with a mix of sadness and joy. "Most people have forgotten me, but my story longs to be told. I lived in a different time, a time filled with dreams and shadows. I was a poet, you see. My words were my world, but my life was cut short." Deed listened intently as Illyra recounted tales of her life, the joys of friendship, the heartaches of love, and the struggles of being understood in a society that often dismissed the dreams of girls. Illyra's passion for poetry shone through her words, and Deed felt a kinship with the spirit as if they were two souls woven from the same fabric of imagination and longing. "Why are you still here?" Deed asked, her curiosity overcoming her initial fear. "Don't you want to move on?" Illyra sighed softly, her gaze drifting toward the horizon where the last vestiges of daylight were melting away. "I linger because my story remains untold. I wish for someone to remember me, to share my words with the world. Until then, I am bound to this place, waiting for someone with a kind heart and a creative spirit to help me." Determined to honor Illyra's wish, Deed promised, "I will help you. I will tell your story. Your poems deserve to be heard." Illyra beamed, and for the first time in many years, the sadness in her luminous eyes seemed to lift. "Thank you, dear one. Together, we can give my words life again." From that day forward, Deed returned to the cemetery frequently. Each visit, Illyra would share her poems, reciting them with grace and emotion. Deed wrote them down in a leather-bound journal, her handwriting imbuing each word with a warmth that breathed new life into Illyra's verses. As Deed immersed herself in Illyra's world, she found herself inspired to write her own poetry as well. The lines flowed effortlessly, intertwining her own dreams with Illyra's memories. The two girls, separated by time yet connected by their passion for words, became inseparable companions. The more Deed wrote, the more she felt the boundaries of the living and the dead blur. Illyra guided her through the creative process, offering encouragement and wisdom that transcended the grave. Deed learned to see the beauty in the mundane, to find inspiration in the rustling leaves, the laughter of children, and the quiet moments of solitude. Weeks turned into months, and the townsfolk began to notice a change in Deed. She radiated a newfound confidence and joy, her heart brimming with stories to tell. Inspired by Illyra's legacy, Deed decided to host a poetry reading in the town square, inviting everyone to gather and hear the verses she had crafted alongside the spirit of Illyra. On the night of the reading, the air buzzed with anticipation. Lanterns flickered against the backdrop of a starlit sky, casting a warm glow over the crowd. Deed stood before her friends and neighbors, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and nerves. She opened her journal and began to read. With each word that flowed from her lips, the spirit of Illyra stood by her side, shimmering softly in the moonlight. Deed recited Illyra's poems with passion, infusing them with her own spirit until they transformed into something magical. The audience was captivated, their hearts entwined with the tales of love, loss, and dreams that echoed through the night. As Deed finished, a hush fell over the crowd. Then, slowly, applause erupted, filling the night air with warmth and appreciation. Deed beamed, feeling a connection with the people around her and knowing that she had honored Illyra's wish. As the last echoes of applause faded, Deed felt a gentle breeze sweep through the square. She turned to look at Illyra, who smiled with pride and gratitude. "You did it, my dear friend. You've given my words life again. I can finally rest." Tears filled Deed's eyes as she realized the magnitude of what they had accomplished together. "I'll never forget you, Illyra. Your spirit will always be a part of me." With that, Illyra's form began to shimmer, her essence fading into a soft glow that danced away like fireflies into the night. Deed felt an overwhelming sense of peace, knowing Illyra was finally free. In the days that followed, Deed continued to write, her heart overflowing with inspiration. The journal, once merely a collection of Illyra's poems, now blossomed with Deed's own words. Each page became a testament to their friendship, a bridge between the past and present, where the dreams of two girls intertwined. The townsfolk, captivated by Deed's talent, began to see her in a new light. She became a beacon of creativity in the community, organizing more poetry readings and workshops, encouraging others to express themselves through art and words. Deed felt a sense of responsibility to carry on Illyra's legacy, ensuring that the girl from the past would never truly be forgotten. News of Deed's talents spread beyond the borders of her small town. Writers, poets, and dreamers traveled from neighboring villages to hear her speak, to feel the magic of her words, and to share their own stories. Deed embraced this newfound role, understanding that her gift was not only to create but to inspire others to find their voices as well. One evening, during a particularly well-attended reading, a stranger approached Deed after the event. His name was Thomas, a published author with a keen interest in historical fiction. He had heard whispers of Deed's talent and the story of her connection with Illyra. Intrigued, he asked if she would be interested in collaborating on a book about Illyra's life, intertwining her poetry with Deed's narrative. Deed's heart raced at the thought. It was a daunting task, but she felt it was a perfect way to honor Illyra and share her story with the world. Together, they spent countless hours researching Illyra's life, delving into the history of the time she had lived in, and weaving together a tapestry of words that combined fact and fiction, poetry, and prose. Deed often felt Illyra's presence guiding her as she wrote, whispering ideas and encouraging her to dig deeper into the emotions of the past. Months turned into a year, and the book began to take shape, a beautiful blend of Deed's voice and Illyra's poetry, chronicling the life of a girl who dared to dream in a world that tried to stifle her light. When it was finally published, the book received critical acclaim, touching hearts far and wide. Readers found solace in Illyra's words and inspiration in Deed's journey, igniting a flame of creativity across generations. As the years passed, Deed continued to grow as a writer and a mentor. She introduced community programs that promoted the arts, creating spaces for young people to express themselves freely, just as she and Illyra had done. The cemetery where she had first met Illyra became a beloved spot for local artists and poets, a place of inspiration and remembrance. On the anniversary of Illyra's passing, Deed organized a special celebration at the cemetery. The townspeople gathered, lighting candles, and sharing their own poetry. Deed stood before everyone, her heart full as she recounted the story of her friend, the girl who had taught her to see the beauty in words and the power of dreams. As she finished speaking, Deed looked toward the willow tree etched on Illyra's grave, feeling a warm breeze sweep through the cemetery. In that moment, she knew that Illyra was there, a gentle presence watching over all those who had come together to honor her legacy. From that day on, Deed made it a tradition to hold the gathering every year, a celebration of creativity and a reminder that stories have the power to transcend time. The bond between Deed and Illyra continued to inspire generations, proving that even in death, the spirit of a dreamer can ignite the hearts of the living. And so, Deed lived her life as a storyteller, a guardian of Illyra's legacy, ensuring that the light of their shared dreams would never dim, but rather continue to illuminate the paths of countless others, guiding them to find their own voices and share their own stories with the world. In the end, she realized that though Illyra may have been a ghost, Her spirit lived on in every word Deed wrote, in every heart touched by her poetry, and in every dream that dared to soar beyond the confines of the ordinary.